What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me. Downtown Detroit, 10,000 steps. Let's go. I want to talk to y'all about promiscuous women and how to deal with them. You know, really, promiscuous women, you really just want to deal with them on a fun time basis. You don't want to take a promiscuous woman and start to try to date her seriously. You're going to be opening yourself up to a world of problems that you otherwise wouldn't have if you either tried to deal with her in her appropriate place or just didn't deal with her at all. More likely than not, a woman like that is not looking to settle down. She's really not able to settle down. She thinks that she has more time to be out here during her 304 phase. And I mean, we know how that ends, and many of these women know how that ends. In fact, I think most of them know how that ends, but they want to convince themselves that there's some sort of special case that, they're not going to end up the same way the women before them that behaved this way did. It always ends the same. You always end up alone, multiple kids out of wedlock, bitter. One of the worst aspects of it is that they're in the driver's seat making these choices for themselves. Yet when it's all said and done, it's somehow men's fault for why they're in the situation that they're in. You got out here yourself. You made the choice to. You didn't want to get married. You didn't need no man or didn't want to obey no man or be under a man's headship. And that's cool. That's not for everybody. So I understand. But this is a choice you made. You got out here despite there being all types of forms of birth control. You found yourself in a situation where you were pregnant. You decided to go through with the pregnancy. Only you can decide if doing that is right for you or not. You decided that this was right for you, so you went through with that. Find yourself years later, a few kids in tow. Your looks have faded. Chad and Tyrone, they not calling like they used to. You're not the fun girl anymore. It's not fun to have to plan around a sitter. They hit you up for a good time and you got to plan around a sitter. Can you get a sitter? That's not fun. They could just call somebody else that isn't dealing with that problem. So you made a series of choices that guaranteed you would land yourself here, but it's somehow not your fault. That's always been very strange to me. But this is usually the path of a promiscuous woman, and why you should just kind of stay away. If you're going to date a woman like that, and as I said, I really don't recommend it. I'm going to turn the camera this way because the sun is over there and I don't want it all in y'all eyes. We got music playing out front of this establishment for whatever reason. But I don't recommend you deal with women like that. But if you are going to deal with a woman like that, do not date her seriously. Hit her up for a good time. She hits you up for a good time. Understand that that's all that it is. This is not about to be your future wife. Wrap up. Please, wrap up. Wrap up because you don't want to be the one stuck with this woman. And wrap up because ain't no telling who all she's dealing with outside of you. So don't even introduce those type of problems into your life. I'm about to go into some shade here. Nowadays, this 304 culture, it's largely encouraged, largely celebrated. You got these different female artists, if you want to even call them that are encouraging impressionable young women to behave like this. And there's really nothing you can do about it because as a man, you could say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like a woman that behaves like this. But they're not going to listen to you because they're out having a good time. They can always find some guy who is willing to entertain them. So along with hearing these female artists telling them to be this way, and couple that with the fact that there's always a guy looking for a fun time who, at the time is calling them up. They can't see anything outside of that. If they're 25 years old, they're smack dab in the middle of their 304 phase, and life is good in their opinion. Things are going exactly the way they want them to. They're having all types of fun. They can't see anything outside of that bubble. That's their current reality. So it doesn't matter. They have to just figure this out on their own. Or I would hope, damn, he need to put a muffler on that thing. I would hope that women in their lives, like their mom, their auntie, their grandma, would talk to them and tell them not to move like this, not to expose themselves to certain things. But that really hasn't been the case. It seems to be the moms especially. The moms seem to be encouraging it because in many cases now, the mom was that way too. The daughter is simply like reenacting what the mom was doing. So if the mom was out there busting it open for anybody, the daughter is less inclined to listen because it's a do as I say, not as I do sort of thing. And that just doesn't ever play well. When you're telling somebody to do something that you were doing, it's hard to tell them not to do it. Even when you got the receipts for it playing very badly for you to show them. I'm across the street over here. I got the Hudson site behind me. A lot of construction happening there. So I'm across the street, so be a little bit peaceful so I can keep talking to y'all. But y'all know I attract all the noise. If you've been messing with me for a while now, you know when I'm out walking, I attract all the noise. Everything finds my mic. As I were. You will save yourself from a lot of grief. He just turned that on when I went past. See what I tell y'all about I attract all the noise? He was not doing that. He was not doing that. I swear, I think it's just my luck. I'm going away from the Hudson side. I cross the street, it gets quieter, and then this guy starts up a saw. But that's okay, man. And I'm not complaining. I actually have fun with this, so I'm not tripping at all. I actually do find it fun how every bit of noise just happens to find my mic. But you're gonna save yourself from a lot of grief by not dealing with women like that. And if you insist on dealing with women like that because they're just so good looking, so attractive, so easy, fine, but do it in the capacity of how you should. Wrap up, have a good time. Under no circumstances do you catch feelings. Under no circumstances do you catch feelings. I repeat, under no circumstances do you catch feelings. Nothing is worse for a man and his well-being than falling in love with a woman that is like that. Your life is going to become chaotic. It is going to become totally chaotic. And you're going to get used and exploited because chances are she's never going to feel for you the way that you do for her. Because she's already did too much pair bonding with all these different guys that she's been letting, get it. All these different guys that she's been busting it open for. They talk about pair bonding, they talk about soul ties, and this may sound like mumbo jumbo, but it's really not. And then there's a thing, and I've read many things about this, about women retaining the DNA of the men that they've been with. And when you have a kid with a woman like that, it is highly possible that one of the previous men that she was with, the kid will get some of its traits. Now ask yourself, after hearing that, does that sound like something you should be getting involved in? Does that sound like a good idea? Do you really want to try to wife a 304 knowing that something like that could possibly happen? I don't know if it's for sure, but the possibility of it is enough for me to be like, hell no, to the no. But appreciate y'all connecting with me, man. I'm gonna continue on these steps. I broke a little bit of a sweat out here today. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, because y'all know I read them. Like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna holler at y'all soon. Peace.